Welcome to Rich Thoughts, Poor Jokes, the podcast where meaningful conversations about mental wealth meet a healthy dose of humor. Each week, your hosts, Dr. Roxy Riefkohl-Cook and Dr. Stephanie Ellis, two of Houston's most respected doctors of counseling and psychology, coach you on the path to mental wealth. They will not just inspire, but entertain you while empowering you to elevate your life.
Welcome back to our series about brain wealth,
AKA executive functioning.
Executive functioning series. So today, and we promised that we would break down each executive functioning skill for you guys in more detail. And so today, we're going to define and give examples and try to help you with memory, focus, and effort. And we're going to start with memory.
And so again, if you are doing any internet searching and stuff about executive functioning skills, people break this up even in the research literature in bunches of different ways. This is just the way that we've chosen to do it because it makes sense to us.
Yes.
All right. So memory.
Memory. Okay. So we love to get you thinking because, again, we're doing this so that you can make this personal for yourself. And so what we want to do is we want to start with a small self-assessment. And as we go over and say these working memory skills to you, we want you to think about yourself. We want you to think, are these things that I'm able to perform well? Do I need possibly some work in these areas? Am I having difficulty? But really just a small self-assessment to get you thinking about memory.
And so memory is more than one thing. We're going to focus mostly on two major concepts, working memory and then accessing memory when it's needed. All right. So does this sound like you? Mm-hmm. Do you ever struggle to keep one or many things in mind? Mm. Trying to multitask in any way, is that a no-go for you? Do you have more difficulty listening than reading? Sometimes that is one that captures people that they didn't realize. More difficulty listening than reading. Do you have trouble doing tasks that require mental calculation or manipulation of information? So mental math or organizing a list in your head, that kind of thing.
I still don't remember, you asked in one of the episodes me to add like 36 and 29 or something like that. So I'm still working on that. I'll get back to you.
And I will say, that's right. We have talked about working memory on the podcast before, and that was our example. And this is a good maybe metric for people. That's where most people are. Mm-hmm. Can you add two-digit numbers in your head?
Yes.
Okay. If you can't add two one-digit numbers in your head, we're probably really struggling, But some of you people listening, they'll be multiplying three-digit numbers. So you can skip ahead.
Definitely. A few other things to think about. Do you have some forgetfulness in your daily routine? Do you have difficulty with recent and immediate memory?
I'm sorry. I just want to emphasize the daily routine part there. Oh. Today, this actual day, I arrived here for this podcast and had to access my super secret box of morning supplies that I forgot to use, which was today's deodorant. So we're not talking just about, everybody forgets stuff. But if you're forgetful in daily routines, that's definitely a marker.
For certain. I'm so happy about the extra box of materials.
Hacking tip. Oh, wait, we'll get there.
Okay. Do you have difficulty remembering important information when needed and difficulty noticing what is needed or need so that you can remember? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So those are some ideas. If that sounded like you, let's talk about it. So working memory is kind of like, if you're a computer person, it's sort of like your RAM versus your hard drive. If you're not, I only said that because my husband's a computer person, and don't expect too many of those examples because I'm really not. I'm more like this. This is like your sticky notes. How many sticky notes can you have out in your brain at a time? That's your working memory. It's this ability to hold information in your mind for a short period while you use it to complete a task. Right? So it's not the same as things like long-term memory. So can you remember your childhood, right? Although we do also bump up against that sometimes in executive functioning is what's important for me to remember right now, and can I get that out of my kind of like long-term file storage?
Yes.
And that's accessing recall, we might say.
Yes. So we also mentioned in the first episode that an example might be remembering a phone number long enough to dial it, or keeping track of what another person is saying so you can formulate a response, relevant response when it becomes your turn. But the example that I think of probably the most when I think about working memory would be receiving instructions, right? So you get multiple steps from a boss, from a parent to child, whatever that might be. And then can you remember these instructions long enough to actually follow through?
Or yourself. You have like these really good intentions about what you're about to do next, and then it is gone.
That. Okay, so we talked about maximizing, and this is something we want people to the takeaways, right? So can you explain first, let's start with how maybe we are not maximizing or we're kind of reducing our ability to use our working memory.
I like that. For all of these, let's do that. Let's talk about what are we doing that's like getting in our own way,
right?
And then maybe some stuff that we can try.
Love it.
Okay, so I would say the primary way that we are not maximizing when it comes to working memory is trying to multitask. So brains actually don't do that. So your brain can do two types of things. It can do automatic processes and controlled processes. Automatic processes are things that you have done for so long that it doesn't take it doesn't have any cognitive load to it. So some things that are automatic processes are like breathing. You actually don't have to do any work to remind yourself to do that. But other things that most people have, eating with a fork or walking or stuff like that. So the joke about like walking and chewing gum at the same time.
Yes.
Most people actually probably can do that. Walking and chewing gum are probably both automatic processes. Those things can be multitasked. Controlled processes cannot be multitasked. So a process that takes some cognitive load is something like speaking, listening, reading, watching, right? So these kinds of things, you have your work laptop open and you have the game on. And you feel like you're doing both of those things at the same time, but you aren't. Right? But the more things we have going, the more tabs we have open, that kind of thing. I sort of mean that literally and figuratively.
Yes,
The more tabs we have open, the more programs we have running, the more stuff we have going on, interferes with our ability to do executive functioning writ large, but certainly working memory. Right?
And
It's
doing
taking
it
up
well,
some of our space.
right? I mean, that's the other part of this. You might be doing it, but
And so,
possibly not.
yeah, well, and so if you think, I don't know why I think about this like a tray, like in a restaurant, like a big tray, if that's, all the kind of space you've got. And there are some things, even if they're on your tray, even if they're covered up, they're making your tray heavier.
Yes.
And one of those things for some people is like having other people nearby. For me, that's one, right? So I work much more efficiently when I'm alone in my house versus if there are people in my house, even if those people are not near me. Another one is having your phone. Not having your phone open in front of you, working on it even. The research says just having your phone in the same room.
Yes.
Right? So those are a couple of ways we're not maximizing. We're trying to multitask. We have too many things going on at one time. We're running too many programs, either actually running them or kind of mentally running them. Got too much on our tray.
Definitely.
Okay.
So if we want to become better at utilizing our working memory. How do we do this? Got some tips?
Oh, this is going to follow pretty naturally from what I just said. But the first one, and remember, what do we want to remember about hacking tips is customizing. Right? So we're going to give you some ideas. Some of them are going to be things that work for a lot of people, but some of them won't. And the ones that work best for you will almost certainly not be the ones that we say. But hopefully we can kind of put you on the right path to figuring out some things to experiment with.
Absolutely.
For yourself.
It definitely is a trial and error or trial and win situation. Okay.
All right. So do one thing at a time. Here's the thing. You're already doing one thing at a time. Remember, because you can only do one controlled process at a time. So when you have the game on and you have your work laptop open, even though you might feel like you're doing both of them, you aren't. What's happening is your attention switching, right, back and forth. And when you do that, the research indicates that we lose up to 40% of our productivity, 40% of our productivity in this kind of attention back and forth, rather than setting a period of time to do one thing, stopping doing that thing, and then doing another thing, right? Because you're not really doing a great job on your work, and you're not honestly even doing a good job watching the game. So wait till halftime, then slam out some work, then go back to the game, right? So one thing at a time. This is one I was thinking that is it's really going to be awesome for some people, which is learn the D&D settings for your phone. It's 2020 something. We cannot not have our phones. I cannot ask a client who comes to my office to not have their phone.
Right.
Even if that would be good for us, the ship has sailed. It's gone. So the next best thing I think maybe we can do when we want to be productive is like, what's the thing inside you that you really emergently need from your phone? It's not Instagram. I gotta tell you the truth. If you just thought it was Instagram, you need to do a little journaling. That's not what it is. So for example, for me, I have these kids.
Right.
I really feel like I need to be able to know if they are having some kind of actual emergency.
Right.
Okay. So my do not disturb settings, right? Or your focus mode, your sleep mode, whatever that is, get familiar with that. Customize it. Customize.
There it is.
Customize it so that what the phone gives you is a sense of safety to put it face down. I think I can ask people to do that these days, right? So whatever it is, if it is that email from your boss, whatever it is, set your phone so that everything else is not distracting you. The one thing or the couple of things that you really need that you're going to be fretting about anyway, that you know that they'll come through, right? Yes. And then put your phone down.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one. What else?
I had one other idea that works for some people and not other people.
Okay.
Which is when you have difficulty with working memory, you end up sometimes trying to be a list person. And then sometimes you end up not trusting your list. Or then sometimes you end up rewriting your list. Or then sometimes you end up making one list for different areas of your life. Or sometimes you lose that list and you make it. Or sometimes that list wasn't good and then it got messy and then you want to make another list.
I feel so stressed out right now.
Make one list and allow it to be messy. Because most of once you get that far, this won't be everybody who's listening, but once you've gotten that far, you end up losing a lot more time in the multi-list, find my list kind of thing, and causing more distress than if you just allow your list to be messy.
Yes. And we are going to talk more about to-do lists. It's coming later. But in this instance, great recommendation. Make the list, let it be messy. We'll talk about whether you get to it or not later.
You don't lose your ability to read.
Right.
So if your list is not in the exact right order, it's okay. Because you could still read everything on it.
You got it. Very true. Okay, shifting gears. Let's talk now
Okay.
about focus.
All right.
Okay.
Shifting focus.
Shifting focus. Sustaining focus. What to focus on. So let's again go back to a little small assessment so you can check in with yourself to find out where am I on this executive functioning skill. So
All right. So here, listen again, see if any of these things sound like you. In a world full of yeses or to-dos, I have trouble deciding which one to do first. After I pick the thing I'm going to do, I have trouble paying attention to it for a few minutes or an hour. I have a special kind of difficulty paying attention to, okay, here. I'm not going to go on too much of a tangent about this.
except for when you do that thing and you go, okay, here. Okay, here.
I'm gonna go on a tangent, I guess. Maybe I can save it. We'll see. There's this idea that people cannot pay attention to stuff that they are disinterested in, and that doesn't just mean stuff you like. I think that's what I want to say about it. Okay. So if you have trouble paying attention to things, and I don't just mean I can only pay attention to what I like, and then I don't pay attention to stuff I don't like. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yes.
When you need to shift your attention, or do you sometimes find that you are stuck? So you can't shift your attention when you need to, when it's appropriate.
Yes.
Do you get easily distracted by squirrels in the outside world, or occasionally by a little thought that comes up and then you derail your whole podcast to go on a tangent? Does that sound like you? Another piece of this is that do you have trouble estimating time? How much time has passed? We'll talk about actually time a couple of different ways as we go through this.
Yes.
But how much time has passed, or how much time something might take, estimating that. And then reading or listening to something at length. And listen, I don't mean sitting down and reading War and Peace. If you can sit down and read a whole book in one sitting, you're some standard deviations out in the other direction, okay? But if you can't read or listen for 10 or 15 minutes, right, then we might have some room to accommodate.
Yes. So defining this executive functioning skill, focus means simply to concentrate, give central attention to, or direct one's efforts or interest on something.
Oh, I like that. You said a lot of things.
Yes.
We say it again.
Yes. To concentrate or give central attention to, or direct one's efforts or interest on.
I love to give central attention. That's so nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Some examples. So when we speak about focus, we're saying, and we said in the first episode, like being able to just stay on task, right? Especially if you're taking a test. Ignoring a tempting website to focus on a work task, or shifting your focus from working on a project at work to now answering a phone call. Okay. Can you let the phone call go? Can you move from the project to the call back to the project? That.
Nice.
Okay, so let's look at what doesn't work. Okay, what can get in the way? How are we not maximizing, Dr. Ellis?
I know. I have some ideas. I know I'm a little monopolizing as we're talking about executive functioning.
Well, this is your jam.
But I love it. So that's why. That's why that's happening. Okay,
This
that's it.
is your jam.
It was like not an apology. It was just an explanation.
Good. Fine. Do it. Monopolize.
Okay, so how do we, here. This is a really good time for me to finish my tangent that I was trying to hold back.
Okay.
So one of the ways that we don't maximize is we misunderstand what interest means. Interest is a lot more about getting immediate feedback, at least in this way that we're using it, rather than enjoying something or liking it. So there's going to be things that you're sort of naturally more interested in than other things. That's true. And that's true for everybody. And by the way, also something the research is very clear, you cannot really change. Like you cannot just like make yourself be interested in something you're not interested in.
Right.
But when we talk about this in terms of executive functioning and like paying attention to something, it's not that it has to naturally grab your interest. It's that it needs to be changing quickly. It's the difference between sort of doing a whole math worksheet versus doing math flashcards, right? So if you could do a whole math worksheet and sort of stay attentive to the thing the whole time, right? That's a good amount of focus, right? Yeah. It's a lot easier to focus on flashcards though, because you do a thing and then you get a feedback and you say a thing, whether it's right or wrong.
Yes.
So this is not about if you like math. Actually, who is interested in flashcards? Just natively interested in flashcards? No one. No. I don't think anyone.
More interested if they're made with cute colors and...
Honestly, yeah, right? Because those things pull attention. Something that is brightly colored, something that is blinking, something that is a siren.
Right.
But so we misunderstand interest. And so we think we're supposed to be able to maintain our focus on something for a long time that's not giving us any feedback. And that's almost no one, right? And then one of two kind of similar things also gets in the way, I think, which is judgment. And self-judgment or shame. Have we said responsibility, not shame yet today?
Not today.
Responsibility, not shame. So self-judgment makes everything worse. And I know that we've talked in an episode like a while back about the difference between like self-awareness or self-reflection, which is kind of looking at yourself with a gentle curiosity versus self-criticism. Yes. Okay, so self-judgment. And most of the time, if you are struggling really with anything, the tendency is to get into that judgmental space. Unfortunately, what that does is it makes you an observer of yourself. And observation stress itself is something that goes on your tray, right? So if you have this tray, and it's like filled with the things you need to do. If you or someone else you feel like is observing you doing the thing you're doing, it takes up space on your tray. So the more judgmental we are, the more we put ourselves under observation stress. Okay? Not maximizing.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how do we maximize? How do we become better? What helps?
Again, I say it one more time. I'm going to try and say it every single time. Customize. Okay, but here's some ideas.
Okay.
Some people will really, really benefit from setting their timers. Timers. Do you have your phone with you, nearby you?
No, because you told me not to.
Yeah. Okay, I do. I'm just going to look on my phone. I'm going to look on my actual phone and I'm going to see how many alarms I have ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We can cut this and when we get to the answers.
A few moments later.
54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. I have 59 different alarms on my phone.
That's real?
Timers work for me.
Clearly.
They don't work for everybody. That would really deeply overwhelm some people. Like you? Is that happening right now?
Right now.
Okay,
right
listener.
In this moment.
You're either a me or you're a Dr. R or you're somebody else. And who you are is great.
That's right.
Timers can be most functional in this focus kind of way, where you say do one thing at a time. If you're one of those people who you'll start something and get locked in, and then you're worried you won't get to your other stuff, a timer can save you there.
Definitely.
If you're one of those people who has trouble sustaining, you can use your timers to build your capacity for that a little bit, right? So you say, all right, I know that I'm going to have difficulty working on this work thing instead of checking the score on the game. What I'm going to do is I really believe with all the quote unquote willpower I've got that I can do 10 minutes. All right, set your timer for 8 minutes, right? Give yourself a success to start with.
Love it.
See that you can do it, right? See that the timer protects you. See that it gives you, in the one case, you won't get so locked in that you forget other important things. But the timer saves you in the other way too, which is you're going to get a break in just a minute.
Yes.
Okay. So timers, lots of different ways that they can be effective for people. And you don't need 59 of them. Maybe. Or maybe you do.
Okay.
Another idea is just trust other people. Remember we said when you think about all of these executive functioning skills, there's gonna be some things that you do better and some things that you don't, right? Like if there are people in your life who do this better, it's okay to trust other people.
Yes.
It's like, how long should I be working on this, right? Or can you, give me some feedback? Can you sit with me while I do this thing? Body doubling's big on the internet scene for executive functioning. Trust other people. Let other people be a part of your process.
Beautiful. I don't know that this is the right place to say this, but I think because you mentioned feedback, there is a way also, and this is something that we do, is we give assessments. So if you feel like you're frustrated, you're getting maybe some negative feedback from some people around you, bosses, supervisors, spouses, you can be assessed for these specific things that we're talking about.
Therapy plug.
There it is. Okay. All right. So lastly in this episode is effort. So regulating your alertness, sustaining effort, and processing speed. So let's do the small assessment. Check in with yourself as we mention these skills and see where you stand.
This is the one you could almost just say, have you thought you're lazy, or have people called you that? I was just thinking that as we were kind of going through this, right? There's forgetful,
yes,
distracted, and lazy. Yeah. And those are like the nasty things that people say about when, those are like the icky labels that, and they don't really have a lot of business being in here. Okay. All right. Do you have difficulty staying alert? You might be just that person who cannot function without the coffee, right? So throughout the day, you should know, right, of course, that your natural level of alertness is going to wax and wane over the course of the day. But if you have difficulty staying alert, do you find it hard to sustain sufficient effort for an ongoing task, which is different than sustaining your attention on it? So you might be sitting there and you're just not working, and you're really deeply focused on how you're not working. You're really focused on the task, but nothing's happening. Trouble with processing complex information. So that includes sometimes, are you in a conversation and you need to be able to take all that information in, figure out quickly kind of how to respond to it.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a problem with finishing stuff? Right? So you start things, you can work on things, but it's hard to kind of get all the way to the end.
Yes.
Consistency? Do you have difficulty with consistency over like minutes even, right? As I'm kind of working on this, am I kind of fading in and out? In my alertness, consistency over hours of your workday, but even things like consistency over weeks of time. Not that that should be perfect, right? But do you struggle with that more than other people seem to? Trouble with maintaining routines or like doing the same routine or procedure over and over? How quick are you to feel defeated when difficulties or obstacles come up? And then one of the things that sort of gets people on this one is more difficulty writing than reading or listening. Yeah. So not always, but sometimes that's the little clue for people.
All right. So Effort defined is a set of mental skills that allow us to manage our effort, our alertness, and processing to complete tasks. Here's the word, efficiently.
Complete.
Complete.
Efficiently.
That's right.
Okay.
So we gave some examples in episode 1. An example of effort would be completing a project, or laundry that you're avoiding, or difficulty understanding information shared about a new and very different project. So again, we've talked a lot about how some things happen more naturally, subconsciously. They've become easier for us because they're a habit and so forth. But we get something new and very different. Can we take the information and follow through and complete it?
One thing that just came up for me just now was the difference between like laundry and dishes, or like doing the laundry versus folding the laundry. Because doing the laundry is like these little short bursts that you just have to kind of come back to. And if your washing machine's like loud enough when it's finished, then you maybe you notice.
Yes.
Versus folding the laundry, which is
Your washing machine doesn't sing to you?
It does.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It does.
Little song?
My dryer doesn't.
Same.
It should. I need a timer for that. Versus folding the laundry, which is a high effort task.
Yes.
Right? Because it's this sort of like sustained alertness and energy put toward something for quite a long time, depending on how big your dryer is.
There it is. Okay, so what are some things that get in the way? How are we not maximizing effort?
Not maximizing effort is great. No, I mean, it's not. But it's great because it gives me another opportunity to say, we're not well slept. Yeah. You can. Effort is partly about energy and alertness, which you cannot have enough of if you are not sleeping well.
Yes.
But again, also there's like other ways we might not be well resourced. You know, we might not be well fed. You do need some supplies inside your body to make your brain go, right?
Overwhelmed, stressed.
Uninterrupted time. So sometimes people mistake this, right? They think I'm not effortful because I'm not getting things done, but actually it's not that they don't have the energy or effort to put to it. It's that they don't have uninterrupted time.
Yes.
To do it. We don't have a challenge mindset, right? So that persevering is partly, do I have enough energy? But it's partly, am I able to go uphill when it's uphill, right? Am I able to climb over or go around a barrier when it comes up? Or do I just not quite have enough oomph to get in there? And so challenge mindset helps with that.
Like putting the laundry away after it's folded?
Those, for the record, are listeners, 2 totally separate tasks.
Right.
So, you know what? Can I say that right now? This is literally written on my note card. It says know thyself, right? In terms of like processing speed.
Yes.
But can I just say that I think that for some people, laundry is one thing. Laundry is not one thing to me. There's washing.
Definitely not.
Drying. Getting out of the dryer. Prepping for putting away and putting away. And honestly, putting away folded stuff and putting away hanging stuff might also be 2 separate tasks. And if I try to think for myself about doing the laundry as just one thing, I get filled with stress and a sense of overwhelm and self-judgment because no, that just doesn't work for me. Right. So yeah, we are sometimes either not knowing ourselves well in terms of what we can do, or we know, but we don't like it. And so we're just being mean to ourselves about it instead.
No shaming.
No shame. Responsibility, not shame.
Okay, so how do we hack? What are some tips that can help with effort?
So let's start with that one. Let's start with like accommodate you. Whatever it is, however much time you can spend on something or however much effort something does take for you, it doesn't have to be the same as it is for somebody else. And we waste a lot of energy and effort, and then we feel a lot of shame when we compare ourselves to what we think we should be like based on what we think other people are like.
Right.
And if you're getting most of your information from like TikTok and stuff, it just seems like all those people are perfect. So those are bad examples. All right.
Fat.
I can't believe she brought that up. But it's true. Tell me, have you ever seen anybody
Series one.
fat on Instagram? Come on. All right. You have heard, maybe you've heard, if you haven't heard, maybe you will if you've been on the internet about this at all, about the Pomodoro technique for timing. It's a strategy, but it's kind of, and I like it, and it works for a lot of people, but it can be sort of overly structured. The idea is like 20 minutes of work, 10 minutes off. 20 minutes of work, 10 minutes off. And the idea that you might have enough effort or ability to sustain attention for a certain amount of time before you need to switch tasks, totally get it.
Yes.
It's just that that's a different amount of time for everybody.
That's what I was going to say. You definitely have to do trial and error here to customize
it for you. And then also, what are you trading back and forth on? Some people need to do an effortful thing and then a not effortful thing. But some people are fine to do one kind of effort and then swap to a different kind of effort. And so, again, that's something that you want to just play around with for yourself. I do, in my office, give a little homework pretty often, which is, can you give me 8 minutes? Let's just try it for 8 minutes. 4 minutes is for most people too short a time to feel like they've gotten anything done. But most people can get a teeny tiny bit of something done in 8 minutes. And most people have got the oomph to 8 minutes in. And then you have permission at the end of that 8 minutes to continue if you want to, or to change tasks if you want to. Right? So I don't know.
Yes.
It's and again, even 8 minutes is not a good. Even that needs to be customized, I think, for people.
Yes. Good starting point, though. I think 8 minutes. Okay.
And then if you have trouble completing things, this is like a little brain hack. Not everybody can do this to themselves for themselves. Sometimes you need somebody else to do this for you, but that's okay. Know thyself, accommodate you.
Right.
So when I say change the ending, what I mean is make the ending you feel well past the actual end. So set yourself the task to read a third more pages than you really need to get done. Set yourself a third more time to work on this project than you actually probably need to work on it today. A third is, again, that's the kind of thing you can customize for yourself too, but change the ending. Or if you can't do that, if you can't lie to yourself that way, ask a trusted person, a trusted colleague, your partner or whatever, to do it for you. And say, this is how long it's going to take you to get through this process. Which means instead of burning out, you burn out, 75% of the way through. Well, actually, you already did everything you need. Okay, so that one's like a little specialty hack. That one's not going to work for everybody.
Customize. Okay. Really great ideas, Dr. Ellis. Are we ready for Crown Jewels?
Let's do it.
Okay. This one we have said now several times in this episode.
59
but
times.
we are going to say it again because it is so real. Take responsibility, not shame.
All right. We've said this one too, but I think this is going to keep being true. Trial and error. Since there's going to be some error, go ahead and start with things that don't feel life or death, sort of crucial stuff, but find some areas in your life where you can start to play around with customizing that.
Love it. Thank you for joining us. Join us again next week for more information about executive functioning.
We're going to hit another big 3.
We are. Please like us, follow us, subscribe.
And we're far enough in now. If you've started having questions, go ahead and send them to us. richthoughtspoorjokes@gmail.com.
Excellent. See you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to Rich Thoughts, Poor Jokes. We hope today's episode offered insight or possibility, a new perspective on your mental wealth journey. Tune in next week for more strategies to drive success. Please consider subscribing or sharing this episode with someone else because your mental wealth matters. And a few rich thoughts and poor jokes can help you live with abundance.